for questions. Are there any questions? Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr President. My question without notice is to the Minister for Primary Industries, just for a change, Minister for Regional Water and Minister for Trade and Industry. Minister, in light of your parliamentary statement yesterday where you said, and I quote, "I think it would be foolish for me to commit to updating any Water Act at the moment," unquote, why then did you on the very same day advertise your department's intention to remake the Water Management General Regulation 2011?
Mr President, the Greens yesterday asked whether I would guarantee amendments to a Water Act in this House yesterday, and I said yesterday would have been foolish for me to do that, Mr President, but what we are doing is we are going through the necessary processes of advertising the amendments that are required to the necessary instruments, including the Water Act, and that's something that this government is supposed to do. There are many people, things like communities that rely upon drinking water, those sort of things that rely upon these instruments to continue to be updated and in line with what communities and the professional advice associated with the infrastructure in those communities require. That's what this is doing. This is an open, transparent process that we're making sure that we get along with, to update the necessary regulations under the Water Management Act 2000 to support the implementation of the Act, Mr President. And this specifically under the Water Management General Regulation 2011 specifies procedural and technical information such as the requirements for making an application for a water access licence or an approval under the Act, exemptions from licence and approval requirements under the Act, and certain functions and power supply of water supply authorities. They're the sort of things that are in this, Mr President. Nothing to hide here, Mr President. Out for consultation. Out for consultation. This is not a government that is... Water at the table.
You can't give a straight face either.
Would the Minister resume his seat?
No, Greg's good with water.
Don't talk about that.
I'm good with water. I can leave it going all night.
Stop the clock.
Pretty good at leaking over there.
I knew Hansard would have no chance of hearing what the Minister said, and I thought, in fairness to Hansard and to all members who were actually trying to listen, I would just simply stop the clock and wait until the chamber came to silence so that the Minister could be heard in silence. Minister has the call.
Because, Mr President, that's how the process works. We put the proposed amendments out for consultation, Mr President. This government is getting on with the job on this important asset in this state, Mr President. We are 5 years into the 12 years implementation of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. We're getting on with that. We have just committed $1 billion to regional water infrastructure, Mr President. We're getting on with that. And when the necessary changes to the instruments that are used to provide essential services like drinking water to regional communities are required, it's the government's responsibility to advertise those amendments, put them out for consultation so that they can be consulted with the people that are impacted by them. And then, as we've seen yesterday, Mr President, this House also then has a role if the House decides that those amendments or those regs should be repealed, Mr President. That's what we're talking about. The normal processes of government, Mr President, out there for consultation. Nothing to hide. We're getting on with the job.